So my name's Matthew Day, and I've lived in Reigate for 8 years. I have a son who's 8, and we moved, and he attends Priory, and he also attended Holmesdale. So the reason I and thousands of others, and actually a quick calculation of there's 150 a year per 70 years, about nearly 11,000 children have come through the school, have moved to Reigate to start a family because primarily of the location of Reigate Priory and Holmesdale School and the thriving community that this fosters. I've always adopted an active travel life. I've ridden here today, and along with most parents at Holmesdale and Priory, we don't use a car. There's about 80% we don't use a car. And for my commute, I use a bike, and for shopping, we use a cargo bike. So we're known as an active travel family. My question was about active travel and safety of the route, and I think these are the two fundamentals of our objections. And there's no doubt we understand that we need a new school. I don't think that's up for debate anymore. It's just the location of that school is the real point of contention. We are in, and I don't want to exaggerate, we're in a golden era at the moment where governments and council initiatives are recognising the power of active travel in terms of the health and the well-being. We've got Active Travel England that's only just recently been set up, that where there's a statutory consultee obligation now for large planning applications for new developments to consider not only pedestrians but also cyclists. There's new planning regulations around the 20-minute neighbourhood, which beautifully illustrates a quote which says, "Put schools at the heart of the community, not at the edge, not outside, but at the heart of the community." And then the last initiative in terms of active travel is the Gear Change Initiative, which is again a government plan that is describing the vision to make England a great walking and cycling nation. It sets out actions at all levels in terms of the government and local authorities of what we all need to do. And those benefits, they're reduction of carbon emissions, improved physical and mental health, and the economic benefits. And I was surprised that none of this was mentioned in your response. Around safety, as a junior school, Reigate Priory encourages Year 6 pupils to walk to school by themselves. And that's a valuable developmental skill in preparation for their transition to secondary school. So within your reply, your definition in your answer to the question around a safe route was that your definition of a safe route, you used the road safety assessment of walked routes to school definition. And sad as it sounds, I read that. I thought, right, what does it contain? And it contains a House of Lords statement that says that the pavement needs to be continuous for it to be safe, and that your child must be accompanied by a parent or carer. So I can't see how that fits into the Year 6 obligation of walking your child or getting your child to walk on their own to school. We all know there's a pinch point, and we spoke this at the consultation. There's a pinch point on Cockshott Hill. I think that's what we should all just focus on. You have a proposal around Railings, but we all know, and again I've done the study, the Transport Research Group, railings are to keep pedestrians on the pavement. They're not a barrier, so they're not a crash barrier that is used to retain or direct vehicles on impact. Only last week, and we're running a social media campaign, as I'm sure you expect, and we've been sent pictures, and really, really moving pictures and impactful pictures. Only last week there were 2 incidents on Cockshott Hill where an ambulance was coming one way, and a lorry had to mount the pavement against the wall going down Cockshott Hill. So no raining would have stopped that happening, and there are two separate instances of that happening. Reigate Town, one last paragraph. Reigate Town, the people, the businesses have all benefited from Reigate School being part of the heart of our community. Through this proposal, you're destroying the option of active travel. Even for someone like me, who's very, very keen, I would not take my son on his bike up Cockshott Hill. We recognise we need a new school, and I urge you to reconsider your proposals to move the school and ensure that Reigate remains at the heart of this vibrant town. We voted for you as a council, and I urge you and trust that you will change your proposal, pause the plan, allow us to regroup and deliver the best outcome for the children. And just the final point is around the question is please can you explain why you are relying solely on outdated policies and not basing the proposal on Active England's extensive toolkit that I mentioned earlier. Thank you.
I'm sure you can appreciate that many similar schools in Surrey have children as they use walking routes to school, and all of this is going to be addressed within the proceedings going forward, and you've had a number of representations to that effect. But in terms of your specific supplementary question, Liz, do you have a response?
In relation to the question itself, and as we've stated, we have a transport department. They are actively engaged in this programme. They will, of course, be thinking about not only the national picture and ambitions, but, of course, our Surrey local transport planning arrangements. And so we would be articulating that as part of the planning application process and submitting that. So beyond what we've already shared, that's probably the fullness of the answer we can give you today.